Hello, and a warm welcome to South Asia Today, where we bring you in depth insights into the key events shaping South Asia. I'm Shivangi Mishra, and on today's top stories. Mysore silk weaves a legacy of grace and glory. Black Panther makes public appearance at Central Zoo in Nepal. And student uprising in POJK exposes Pakistan's failed education system. Let's begin the show. India produces diverse silk varieties: mulberry, tussar, eri, and muga, each reflecting the nation's rich tradition, skilled craftsmanship, and regional heritage. Today, we take you to Mysuru in Karnataka, famous for producing mulberry silk, regarded as the finest and most lustrous silk in India. Sourced from Ramanagara, the silk city of Asia and home to the continent's largest cocoon market, Mysore silk continues to shine as a timeless symbol of India's artistry and cultural pride.
Exquisite, vibrant and timeless. Mysore silk saris are true work of art, their prices ranging from a few thousand to several lakhs. Adored by women across India and around the world, these saris dazzle with rich, enduring hues: red, green, blue, pink and gold, shimmering like a rainbow woven in silk. Each drape reflects centuries of craftsmanship, blending loyal elegance with the unmatched luster, softness and grace that make Mysore silk a living legacy of India's artistic heritage.
यहाँ का सिल्क तो बहुत फेमस है। मैंने पहले भी बहुत बार लिया है और बहुत सुना था इसके बारे में, और यहाँ पे आने के बाद बहुत वैरायटी भी मैंने ट्राई की, तो बहुत अच्छा है। और प्राइस रेंज भी उसका मीन्स हर कोई अफोर्ड कर सकता है। ऐसे 1000-2000 से 1 लाख तक भी उसका रहता है और बहुत ड्यूरेबल रहता है।
Mysore silk saris are admired across the world. It's for three timeless reasons: superior raw materials, skilled artisans, and exquisite craftsmanship. Let's start with the foundation, the raw silk itself. The silk used in Mysore saris is pure, rich, and radiant, celebrated for its unmatched softness, strength, and natural sheen. Ramanagara, often called the Silk City of India, produces some of the finest cocoons and silk yarns in the country, the very threads that breathe life into Mysore silk. The silk from Ramanagara is treasured not just in India but across the globe. Foreign buyers frequently visit its vibrant markets, drawn by the allure of silk that glows like liquid gold, the pride of Karnataka, and a shining symbol of Mysore's enduring legacy in luxury textiles.
Here we have Asia's biggest cocoon market in Ramnagar, and every day more than 40 to 50 tons of cocoons transacted, and more than 300 to 400 reelers participated for buying the cocoons from the farmers.
The making of Mysore silk is both art and endurance. It begins with silkworms nurtured on tender mulberry leaves, spinning delicate cocoons. These cocoons are gently boiled to preserve the unbroken silk filament, which is then reeled, twisted, and strengthened by combing threads from several cocoons. The yarn is cleaned, dyed in vibrant hues, and finally woven into the shimmering elegance of Mysore silk saris, each one a masterpiece of patience and perfection.
साड़ी इधर वार्प से रेडी होता है। वार्प आके मशीन में आके बाद उसका प्रोसीजर आके इधर तैयार होके साड़ी बनता है। उसके बाद दूसरा प्रोसीजर साड़ी में कलर होएगा, ब्लीच होएगा, डिज़ाइनिंग आएगा, वो सब होएगा।
It's no wonder that Mysore silk is hailed as the queen of silks. Every weave reflects the artisan's devotion, the depth of tradition, and the brilliance of Indian artistry. This centuries old legacy continues to flourish in its purest form, with each sari telling a story of purity, grace, and pride. More than just attire, Mysore silk is a living symbol of India's cultural identity and timeless craftsmanship, growing ever more radiant with each passing generation.
Moving on, Nepal's Central Zoo has a rare new attraction, a female black panther, often called the ghost of the forest. Rescued from Elam on September 2nd, the 3-year-old melanistic leopard has been dazzling visitors since going on display this week. With experts calling it an exceptionally rare find, crowds of all ages are flocking to catch a glimpse of the elusive big cat.
Nepal's Central Zoo has got a new member, which has now started attracting visitors of all age groups, from children to the elderly. Dubbed the Ghost of the Forest, a female black panther has been drawing crowds at its enclosure from the very first day. Rescued from the Elam district in eastern Nepal on September 2, the black panther has been on display since Wednesday.
यसमा त हिजोबाट कार्तिक 26 गतेबाट राखियो हैन र यो चाहिँ रेस्क्यु गरेर आइसकेपछि हामीले अलि समय यसलाई क्वारेन्टाइनमा राख्यौं हैन र यसलाई चाहिँ तपाईको सामान्य मेडिकेसनहरु त्यस्तो सिरियस इन्जरी त थिएन तर सामान्य मेडिकेसनहरु हामीले गर्यौं यसले खानेकुराहरु चाहिँ के प्रिफर गर्छ हैन त्यो कुराहरु चाहिँ खान्छ कि खाँदैन त्यो कुराहरु हेर्यौं हैन र अहिले चाहिँ अब सबै कुराहरु एकदम नर्मल सामान्य भइसकेपछि चाहिँ यसलाई रिलिज गर्न उपयुक्त हुन्छ भनेर अनि हामीले एक्जिबिटमा चाहिँ हामीले राम्रो एक्जिबिट पनि बनाएका छौं राम्रो इन्डिजमेन्ट पनि गरेको छौं त्यसको एक्जिबिटमा रिलेटिभली राम्रो स्पेस पनि छ त्यसको लागि चाहिँ त्यसलाई त्यो भएर चाहिँ हामीले अहिले रिलिज गरेका छौं हिजोबाट यो अहिलेको चाहिँ नै यङ फिमेल हो हामीसँग लगभग चाहिँ 3 वर्षको अन्दाजी अनुमानको छ हैन यो चाहिँ र यो चाहिँ उता पूर्वी इलामबाट चाहिँ हामीले रेस्क्यु गरेर लिएर आएको र यो हेर्दा यो चाहिँ एकदम कमनली चाहिँ देखिने चाहिँ होइन अरु चितुवाहरु चाहिँ अब काठमाडौँमा अस्ति भर्खरै हामीले यहाँ पनि सुइसामेसीमा एउटा चितुवा रेस्क्यु गर्यौं हैन त्यो र यो प्रजाति चाहिँ एउटै हो तर हेर्दाखेरि चाहिँ फरक छ यो कम्प्लिटली कालो छ त्यो चाहिँ फरक छ अब अहिले चाहिँ रिसेन्टली चाहिँ लगभग धेरै समयको चाहिँ ग्यापमा चाहिँ यो चितुवा हाम्रोमा आइपुगेछ
A black panther is not a separate species but a common leopard with a genetic mutation called melanism, which darkens its coat and hides its spots. These melanistic leopards are extremely rare. Nepal's National Zoo previously housed one rescued from Okharpawa in 1996, but it died within 2 weeks. Now, nearly 3 decades later, a new black panther has arrived and is already drawing many visitors.
This is the first time I'm seeing something in this species of cat, and I feel like this is one of the most mesmerizing things that I would ever witness. And yeah, it's a really rare thing to see something called black panther in the zoo. And yeah, I was really captivated, and it was something really, it blew my mind actually.
Melanistic leopards are occasionally spotted around the Kathmandu Valley. A 2024 study by the Central Department of Zoology confirmed 5 such sightings near the valley. Surrounded by forested hills, the region hosts common leopards, which rarely turns melanistic. Researchers now call for detailed studies to better document these rare black leopards and develop conservation strategies for apex predators in the valley's increasingly fragmented habitats.
Now we take a look at some happenings in Asia in a segment called Asia Watch.
Bangladesh's ousted Prime Minister, Sheikh Hasina, was sentenced to death in her absence at the end of a months-long trial that found her guilty of ordering a deadly crackdown on a student-led uprising last year. People in the packed courtroom, including families of victims, cheered and clapped, and some in the crowds outside sank to their knees and offered up prayers after the verdict, the harshest against a leader in the country's history. Hasina, who fled to neighboring India in August 2024 at the height of the uprising against her government, issued a statement dismissing the court as a rigged tribunal. The interim government led by Nobel laureate Muhammad Yunus described it as a historic verdict, but called for calm and warned that it would deal with any disorder. After the verdict, the Bangladeshi Foreign Ministry called on India to extradite Hasina and former Interior Minister Asaduzzaman Khan Kamal, who was also sentenced to death in the same case. India said it noted the verdict, was committed to the best interests of the people of Bangladesh and would engage constructively, without going into more detail. Tehran Design Week, which started as a furniture showcase, has grown into one of Iran's leading design platforms, its organizers said on their website. According to the website, it was launched as Tehran Furniture Design to link creativity with local production, which now embraces what organizers call design rooted in culture but looking to the future. The event has grown into a city-wide program, opening public spaces, galleries, and workshops across Tehran, it said, adding that the goal is to bring design into daily life and make cultural spaces more accessible. Designers point to a trend of blending heritage with modern work. Even older generations of designers are now combining it with traditional Iranian arts, said art gallery visitor, Parisa Talabai, citing the use of carpet-inspired layouts and calligraphic patterns in film productions and graphic design. The event's organizers say partnerships with universities aim to link education, research, and practical design. This year's event focuses on continuity, runs from November 11th to 17th across multiple Tehran venues, with independent designers and companies showcasing their works in urban spaces and at the Tehran International Exhibition Center.
Dubai-based airline Emirates said this week it was ordering another 65 Boeing 777-9 jets, adding to its planned fleet on top of 205 of the wider 777X family already on order. The announcement at the opening of the Dubai Airshow came despite recent delays in delivery of the world's largest twin-engine jetliner. Also at Dubai Airshow, China staged a Middle East debut for its C919 jetliner with a flying display, its first outside East Asia, as it showcases plans to compete with Airbus and Boeing. Its two existing plane models, the C909 and C919, lack key certifications from Western regulators, however, and COMAC is looking for alternative markets to help boost its profile.
In Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir, frustration among students has reached a breaking point. At the university in Muzaffarabad, Chela campus, demonstrations have erupted over unjustified fee hikes, poor transport facilities, and deteriorating infrastructure that make education increasingly inaccessible. Frequent result errors have further exposed the deep-rooted flaws in Pakistan's education system. The protests mirror growing resentment against Islamabad's long-standing neglect of POJK's youth and their educational future. Give a report.
In a clear display of frustration, students at the University of Muzaffarabad Chela campus have brought all academic activities to a standstill. They are protesting against steep fee hikes and the administration's persistent apathy toward their concerns. From broken roads to inadequate transport services, the situation exposes Pakistan's neglect of POJK's education system, leaving students to suffer daily hardships.
हालिया यूनिवर्सिटी इंतजामिया की तरफ से जामिया कश्मीर के अंदर फीसिस में जो है वो 50% से लेकर जो है वो 80% 80% तक जो है वो फीसिस में इजाफा किया गया है और बारहा यूनिवर्सिटी इंतजामिया को फीसिस में जो है वो कमी का एप्लीकेशन भी दी गई, लेकिन यूनिवर्सिटी इंतजामिया कोई इस चीज़ पे नोटिस नहीं ले रही है। उसके अलावा जो है वो यूनिवर्सिटी के अंदर जो है वो ट्रांसपोर्ट का एक बहुत बड़ा मसला है कि आए रोज़ जो है वो तालिब इल्म जो है वो ट्रांसपोर्ट ना होने की वजह से जो है वो जब ओवरलोडिंग होती है बसेस के अंदर तो हादसा पेश आते हैं, तालिबात जो है वो जख्मी होते हैं, तलबा जख्मी होते हैं आए रोज़ के अंदर। और यूनिवर्सिटी के अंदर जो है वो और दीगर मसाइल के गिर्द जो है वो आज का ये तमाम तलबा तंजीमों का इजलास था, जिन्होंने मुतफ़क़ा तौर पर अपने मुतालबात और चार्टर ऑफ डिमांड की मंजूरी तक जो है वो जामिया कश्मीर के तीनों कैंपसेस के अंदर जो है वो गैर मुअय्यना मुद्दत तक तालीमी सरगर्मियों का बायकाट करते हुए इत्यादि धरनों का ऐलान।
At the heart of the ongoing protests lies deep administrative mismanagement and Pakistan's persistent disregard for student welfare. University policies are being altered without consultation, leaving students uncertain about their academic futures. Fee structures keep changing and semester plans are revised arbitrarily. This chaos reflects the larger crisis of governance across POJK, where education remains one of the most neglected sectors.
कुछ बच्चों के ऊपर उन्होंने इस तरह की पॉलिसीज आयद की हैं जो उन्होंने स्टूडेंट्स को नहीं बताई थी। अब तलबे इल्म 8वें सेमेस्टर में पहुंच के अपने जीपी की वजह से परेशान है, जिनकी वजह से उनको डिग्री नहीं मिल रही। इसके बाद दीगर जो वो कुछ है अपने मुतालबात तलबे इल्म तलबात के, उसके अंदर आ जाते सेशन 26-27 के लिए समर की सूरत, ठीक है, सेमेस्टर्स वगैरह को कंसीज किया गया, जिसके अंदर जो है समर खत्म किया गया है, ठीक है। जब उनको कहा जाता है कि आप एक्स्ट्रा सेमेस्टर पढ़ें, जिससे उनके 8 सेमेस्टर की डिग्री 9 और 10 यानी कि सेमेस्टर में जा रही है, जिससे उनके 1 साल का लॉस हो रहा है। उसके अलावा अगर मजीद जाए तो ऑफर की फीस उन्होंने इंक्रीज की है, पहले वो 5,000 रुपया थी, अब वो बढ़ा के उन्होंने 10,000 कर ली। जो गरीब बच्चे जो मुश्किल से अपने सेमेस्टर्स की फीस पूरी करते हैं, वो किस तरह से उन चीज़ों को पूरी करें, ठीक है। और दीगर ये कि जो पीछे इंतजामिया के साथ जो माहिदात वगैरह हुए थे, उनसे रिलेटेड भी इंतजामिया ने कोई बर्बाद करवाई नहीं की, उनको पूरा दरामद नहीं किया।
The continuing protests in Muzaffarabad underline a larger sentiment spreading across Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir: frustration over exploitation, broken promises, and administrative chaos. Students say their struggle is not just for fee reductions but for dignity, transparency, and accountability. As Islamabad turns a deaf ear, the unrest at the university in Muzaffarabad stands as a powerful indictment of Pakistan's failed control in POJK.
Amid the scenic hills of Jammu and Kashmir's Rajouri district, positive transformation is unfolding in Kalakot, one of the region's most remote blocks. Once known for its inaccessibility, the area is now witnessing remarkable grassroots development. In several panchayats, new roads, water facilities, and livelihood initiatives are bringing visible change. The ongoing progress reflects how sustained efforts are bridging the gap between remote villages and mainstream development in Jammu and Kashmir. Take a look.
Bringing a wave of hope and progress, Kalakot's Kutikabu, Panar and Batera panchayats are scripting a new chapter of rural development. From building tractor roads and wells to setting up hand pumps, pathways and protection walls, each project reflects the community's commitment to change. These initiatives are not just improving infrastructure but also uplifting livelihoods, connecting once remote villages to new opportunities and brighter possibilities.
हमें ये जो रोड है, रोड की बहुत ज़रूरत थी। तो हम तकरीबन इधर से तकरीबन 2 किलोमीटर पीछे रहते हैं हम, तो वहाँ पर रोड नहीं है, कोई ट्रैक्टर नहीं जाते, कोई गाड़ी नहीं, हमें तो बहुत मुश्किल है। तो अगर हम मकान बनाएंगे तो कैसे बनाएंगे, हम चल नहीं सकते वहाँ पर, तो बहुत मुश्किल है, इसलिए रोड की हमें बहुत ज़रूरत है। तो प्रधानमंत्री का बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया है कि जिन्होंने ये स्कीम चलाई है हमारे लिए, ये हमें काम दिया है।
Empowerment is taking root in Kalakot, where local residents themselves are driving the wave of transformation. Engaged in building roads, wells and protection walls, villagers now find meaningful work within their own communities. What once forced them to seek daily wages outside the district has now turned into a local employment and pride.
बड़ा अच्छा काम हुआ, बहुत बढ़िया काम हुआ। मोदी साहब का शुक्रिया अदा करते हैं हम, गवर्नमेंट का शुक्रिया अदा करते हैं। बहुत अच्छा रोजगार है, लोग काम करें तो बहुत बढ़िया है। एक गांव की डेवलपमेंट होती है, एक रोजगार मिलता है, दो फ़ायदे होते हैं। तो अगर काम करें तो बहुत बढ़िया है सर। औरतें भी जहाँ काम करती हैं सर, मेहनत करती हैं, तो अच्छी बात है, बड़ी खुशी की बात है। अपने मेहनत करके पैसे कमाते हैं तो अपनी चीज़ भी बनाते हैं, अपनी डेवलपमेंट भी करते हैं, तो बहुत बढ़िया है सर।
Bringing governance to the people, Kalakot's development drive stands as a model of transparency and empowerment. Workers engaged in local projects receive regular wages, with attendance monitored twice daily and weekly payments ensured. At the same time, the block administration is reaching every doorstep through Gram Sabhas and awareness campaigns, informing residents about various government schemes and strengthening trust in grassroots governance.
सर एमजी नरेगा से इनको ये हो गया कि ये जो हम यहाँ पे काम तो कर ही रहे हैं, अपनी वार्ड की जो अपनी पंचायत की वो डेवलपमेंट तो कर ही रहे हैं, साथ में इनको लोकल एम्प्लॉयमेंट भी अपने यहाँ पे घर बैठे ही मिल रही है। तो सर सबसे बड़ी एडवांटेज यही है कि गाँव की डेवलपमेंट, पंचायत की डेवलपमेंट तो हो ही रही है, साथ में लोकल्स को एम्प्लॉयमेंट भी मिल रही है। सर मेन ये इशू है यहाँ पे हमारी, जैसे थोड़ी फार फ्लंग पंचायत है, जैसे अभी हमने पहले भी आपको एक बताया कि हमारा एक रोड का काम चल रहा है। वो रोड भी सर वो काफ़ी डिमांड थी लोगों की कि वो उनको रोड चाहिए था, और वो भी हमने वो रोड का काम शुरू करवाया हुआ है। और जो वो रोड है सर वो भी कम से कम 40-50 वहाँ पे ऊपर हमारे हाउस होल्ड हैं, जहाँ वो जो हमने अभी रोड जो काम शुरू हुआ है वो भी हम सर हमने एमजी नरेगा में ही शुरू करवाया हुआ है। और जिस हिसाब से सर आपको पता ही है, जब वो रोड बनेगा तो काफ़ी वहाँ पे ऊपर जाने में पहले दिक्कत रहती थी, लेकिन जब क्या होगा कि सर वो भी एक एम्प्लॉयमेंट अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ क्रिएट करेगा।
The remarkable transformation in Kalakot mirrors the broader developmental momentum unfolding across Jammu and Kashmir. With improved infrastructure, local employment, and strong community engagement, the region is witnessing inclusive progress. These panchayats stand as living examples of how effective policies are driving overall development across the Union Territory.
As we wrap up today's episode of South Asia Today, we thank you for joining us. We'll return next week at the same time with more insights and updates. This is Shivangi Mishra signing off on behalf of our entire team. Until then, stay safe and goodbye.